what actually became a very heroic action. So today we want to remember them. I remember, for example, Eric Yalo was shot on the head by a sniper's bullet, and remember young Kennedy Odhiambo very innocently in Rongai, and we had the testimony of his mother when we went for the memorial service at All Saints Cathedral. Young people. And then after that, the culture of abductions followed. They didn't stop at killing the young Kenyans, but they followed this now with high-handedness. The Sumbarus, the famous Sumbarus. I remember, by the way, in 2023, I was myself put under house arrest. I was not allowed to come out because previous week we went all the way to Wote and other places. We were all over. So brutality has been the order of the day of this Kenya Kwanza administration. Now, today, we just want to remember these young people. Yesterday, when we were launching the People's Restorative Justice Commission, we made it very clear that our intention today was to come and lay wreaths in remembrance of these young people. And I think that is, as their parents are entitled, and other Kenyans are entitled. We also actually said clearly, we've been saying it, today is a public holiday. Indeed, it is now going to, is it 9 o'clock? And I've never seen the streets of Nairobi being so clear. Easy traffic today. A lot of Kenyans have chosen to stay at home in sympathy with what happened on the 25th of June 2024. That is where we're here. Right. Eugene made it clear, if there are people wielding machetes, pangas and burungus, that is not our culture. And it is time, we now need to make it clear when the rungu wielding people, they are demonstrating against the killing of Ojwang, right? Then these people they came out carrying rungus and wherever. They did not stop there. Yeah? Not the young people, the organized gangs are the ones who rained terror on shop owners in the streets, in Koinange Street, in Kaunda Street. I remember people who had the electronic shops, for example. Even the police were helping themselves. Amazing. So I think that we need to call them out and to say that this country changed forever, politically. The governance of this country changed forever on the 25th of June last year. And that's why we are here. And therefore nobody can wish that away. As you heard us say yesterday, we set up the PRJC, right, led by Justin Muturi, and we know that the world attention will be drawn to that because men and women all over the world want justice. Justice for Ojwang, justice for heroes of 25th of June, and today as we speak, not a single penny has been paid by this administration to either the victims, of course, are gone, but also their relatives, also victims. Not a single penny, and yet we actually remember when for example, ODM joined this administration outside KICC. One of the points in the 10-point agenda was compensation. Even I think in Homa Bay, Raila tried to remind them. Okay, nobody. It's like talking to a stone. This is why we cannot understand why those people, anybody would have wanted to join them. So we have set up a People's Commission, Justice Commission. And we know the world will be coming in, and if you look at the quality and the membership of that commission led by Justin Muturi, it is the best we could think of doing, and we must thank our brother Justin Muturi for agreeing to chair that, because his credentials will even attract all attention. Perhaps even support, because I think the media will be invited to hear all these stories, some of which we had yesterday, and so we must get our country back. That's why we are here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe to Mheshimiwa Eugene, you've seen the huge security apparatus deployment in town and CBD even at Parliament. What are these speak?
I think it speaks of a government that is paranoid, a government that's afraid of its own shadow, a government that's afraid of its own children, and looking at what has happened since 2023 to 2024, we haven't had any follow-up in terms of justice for the victims. Justice delayed is justice denied. We're not talking of just 1 year. We are talking of 2 years, over 2 years. Nothing. And today I think we must thank Church for standing very, very strongly with the families.
Kama leo kishwa hapa
we were able and we had all churches coming together, the evangelicals, and they all came together and we prayed with the families and the victims of come does here for their first mass and find across the country in all the churches. This really is very comforting for the families, looking at a system, a government that is very insensitive, that does not care or has no intention of rendering justice to the victims. So as the People's Opposition, I think today we are here to stand in solidarity with the families. Some of them were with us yesterday, some of them were with us for mass this morning, and we have flowers. We want to march with these families just to Parliament across the road to lay these flowers at the gates of Parliament where our slain heroes fell. That is why we're here today. And we're asking Naruto and his government, the least, you kill these children. They're unarmed. Today they are coming unarmed to commemorate, to remember their brothers, their sisters, their fallen colleagues. The least you can do is allow them to commemorate, allow the families to mourn. But for you to unleash the heavy security we are seeing here today, and the goons that we know have been mobilized and on their way to this town, is really adding insult to injury. We will not accept this, and we'll stand with the families. Thank you.
Thank you. As our leaders have said, we are here to observe this day, the 25th of June, when we lost our children to police brutality. I think I just want to reiterate that this day is a very special day for Kenya. It's a day that the least that this government can do is step back and let Kenyans do what they want to do today, to mourn their children. It's very unfortunate that the government would want to dictate to parents, to brothers and sisters, how they will mourn their children. A government can never do that. Let parents come out, let brothers and sisters come out, let Kenyans come out and mourn our children, and we shall retreat back home. We'll have sent the message, we'll have honored these children who are our heroes. In Parliament, I'm here with my Deputy Minority Leader from the National Assembly. As members of Parliament, we shall go to Parliament and lay wreaths in commemoration of the children that were killed in Parliament. The least that the leadership, entire leadership of Parliament can do is to join all of us to go and lay those wreaths in honor of those children and in honor of the institution of Parliament. I thank you.
All right. Maybe Minority Leader. Parliament today is rounded by very interesting.
Yeah, thank you. You know, I'm a member of the House Business Committee of the National Assembly. And the last 3-4 weeks, every time we have our meetings, one of the agendas that comes up is that on the 25th of June this year, we shouldn't remember our fallen heroes. And it's surprising, as of today morning, They have allowed that as members of parliament we can go and lay our wreaths, but they have said that our leaders and the parents and the victims of police brutality, including some who are with us here that were abducted, are not allowed. And you know what surprises me is that this is a people's house. The House of Parliament is actually a house that should be visited by any citizen. Even State House can be visited by any citizen because that belongs to the country, to the people. So I am surprised because they have told us we can go alone. I don't know. I'm even wondering how I'll be feeling there laying flowers alone without the parents of the victims. But since they have said that is the case, that is what we'll do. But then I just want to say that the government needs to stop being paranoid. They need to stop this fear. We are unarmed. You've seen us here. We are unarmed. But if you go outside the roads there, these are very heavily armed police officers. You know, there is almost 20 police officers to every one of us. But you will see them attempt to intimidate us. You will see them stop us from even going into parliament. They've cordoned off the city. They've told people not to drive into the city with their cars. So even though we said it's a public holiday, we didn't mean that people shouldn't be allowed to come to mourn. We only meant people shouldn't go to work, let us mourn together. Otherwise, we shall be doing that work in Parliament, and we hope that today will be a peaceful day. We hope those goons that they normally unleash on us are not released, because if they do that, then they're the ones that will be destroying the country. With those few remarks, thank you very much.
What
Yes.
becomes of House business? What becomes of House business today? Because they sit in the House Business Committee. There was a direction from Speaker Wetangula that Interior CS Murkomen was to appear today and give a statement about Albert Ojwang. Is that still on?
It's not on the, that has been cancelled. It's not in the order paper for today. I mean, even Parliament knows that it might not be business as usual. But I've heard the Interior CS has been walking the streets of Nairobi with Arungu himself, trying to intimidate Kenyans. I think those are the mistakes. They keep making mistake after mistake. He should just stay in his office, allow the police to keep peace. And by the way, they don't even need to be in riot gear. We are not coming to riot, we are just coming with flowers. I don't know whether anyone saw someone hit someone with a flower and hurt them.
I think on behalf of the victims,
Yeah.
we can have Kavuli represent the rest.
So we've come today here to celebrate this special day for us as young people of this country. 25th is very special because that's when the young people, you know, changed the political landscape of this country. We want to say that the police should not be tear gassing people who are shooting us. We are very peaceful, as always you've been peaceful. We want to request the police to give us some time to celebrate in peace. As my leaders have said, we would like to go and lay flowers in Parliament, though we've seen that they put some wire meshes there. Maybe they want to electrocute us. We don't know. But we hope that police are going to restrain themselves from shooting or tear gassing peaceful protesters. I want to request all young people in the country to come in large numbers and air their views, march peacefully. As Robert has said, Parliament is a house of the people. We are allowed to go there anytime we want, so long as we are peaceful, so long as we won't cause violence. And so, to conclude, I want to ask William Ruto, the president, if he's not able to lead this country, he can simply resign. We have other people who can lead this country. It doesn't have to be the president anyway. And you can't lead people by force. So if he's not able to lead this country, he should just step aside. We have another election. We elect the person or the people who are going to represent us. Thank you. Okay.
Perhaps, Excellency, SKM, you had spoken earlier, but please speak to this.
I like your gear.
Thank you very much. Please speak to this.
Yeah.
The fact that the young people who are to come to the streets today appeared to be very ready for their death. That bad. That's what they're speaking about on social media. That tomorrow I will go to the streets and I will die. What does that speak about this particular country? And the government had stated that yes, Kenyans have a right, according to Article 37, to peaceably and unarmed assemble and demonstrate. Today we are seeing the city, it's like there's a curfew or something for people not to access the city. This government, including the IG, who yesterday assured Kenyans of their right under Article 37, is the same government that today has locked down the city. Please speak to these two issues. The fact that the children are saying we are going to die, but we'll still go to the streets.
I can understand as a parent why these children are angry. Because they were mauled down. They were shot and killed. They were maimed. And a year after, and in our case actually 2 years, since 2023, nothing has happened. William Ruto called them treasonous people. They are committing acts of treason, and therefore no sympathy for them. They are rightfully angry, but we want to plead with them because we have seen some of those social posts, some saying that if they die, then they do not want something 2 million shillings or 3 million shillings. They are resolute. Now that anger cannot be ignored. It needs to be nurtured. And we want to assure them that as their parents, we understand that pain. We feel the pain. We do feel the pain with them. Having said that, a barricaded city, what does this mean? William Ruto has declared it now by action that is truly a public holiday. Truly a public holiday. Of course, the damage that comes with this kind of barricading should wholly be attributed to William Ruto's administration. So we want to reiterate that even if they deny us today the possibility of going outside Parliament, the main entrance to Parliament, and lay wreaths there, I can tell you in the years to come, this is clear in my mind, in the years to come, this will be celebrated as a national holiday, properly, with people able to come to Parliament and without let or hindrance, without having this heavily armed policemen, armed to kill their own citizens. What a shame. So Kenyans must remain bold, Kenyans must remain resolute, and so this is a very important day. In fact, one of the most important days since this country gained independence in 1963. We have had various attempts like amending the constitution and giving ourselves a new constitution in 2010. And actually on the strength of this constitution, these young people came out. Under Article 1, what I'm wearing here is the only thing they were armed with was Article 1 of the constitution. They are very clear. They're very clear. We have here a document that will stand the test of time. And nobody, no William Ruto, Kanja or Sakaja can do anything about it. This is a new country. And therefore we must prepare it for the owners, the young Kenyans.
As the leader of the united opposition, you repeatedly said that today will be a public holiday to join the young people. What was the plan? You've already mentioned laying of wreaths, which appears, or so far looks like, may not happen. But what did the opposition have in mind when you declared today a public holiday?
Because of heavy remembrance. This is not usual type of remembrance. In 2023, we are not even allowed to come to a church like this, and we really must thank the Catholic Church for their magnanimity and their sense of understanding. In fact, we understand that on the 29th, all the Catholic faithfuls and the Catholic Church, we had this from Bishops Anyolo and Moheria and others, will be commemorating this event. Therefore, it was out of a sense of duty and a sense of nationhood that we declared this a public holiday. We didn't want to gain cheap political mileage because we are not the type to do so. It is out of a deep sense of commitment to this country and the welfare and the future of this country that we made those announcements.
Noah Kipemboy from KTN.
Yes, no.
My question is sort of calling to order the political class. And I know we don't want to mention classes in this particular situation, but this issue of goons, it is an economic disparity question and people taking advantage of that disparity and utilizing people against its own people. Call to order the political class in this issue of goons, please, sir.
Goons. I'm told even the international community have actually accepted that terminology. In their very strongly worded statement yesterday, they have come out and called out, because they are partners. Nobody, I've seen an attempt by chairman of a committee in parliament trying to say, oh, non-interference. When it comes to the issue, and here I speak to you, a senior counsel and a leader in this country, when it comes to and a former foreign minister, I can tell you this. When it comes to the issue of human rights, they are universal. You cannot run to a corner there called Kenya and plead non-interference. You cannot even talk about Vienna Declaration, right? Because this is a matter that was canvassed seriously before the floor of the United Nations General Assembly, and agreed that when it comes to the issue of human rights, particularly basic, and the beauty about our Constitution, 2010, is so strong on the issue of basic rights. That's why I saw somebody when we went to church with Mheshimiwa Eugene and the other friends there, a gentleman walked inside there carrying a poster, and he said, hawkers' rights are also human rights. Why shoot a dead and hawker? Why shoot him? All right. We pray, still continue to pray for Kamau, that God will have mercy on that young man and the family. I listened to the cries of his mother, distraught. They are not able to talk to him, and so we want to plead that and thank the hospital, Kenyatta National Hospital, for trying to help him, carrying out 2 operations. But rights. Even under Article 43, by the way, we are all socialized to Article 37, even what IG is able to quote, yeah, the right to peaceably and unarmed to demonstrate. You cannot change that. So Article 43 on those other human rights, social rights, very, very important. Therefore, goons who came in carrying, of course they were paid 1,000 shillings. We have seen them confessing. Thank you to the media. Thanks for the media really highlighting this, that they are saying, oh, we didn't know. It is a very shameful thing. And what will go down in history is William Ruto's administration, afraid of its own citizen, went and bribed others because they are unemployed, paid them some money to go and beat their fellow citizens. It is like this massive bribery they are calling economic empowerment. They go carrying 3 million shillings from William Ruto, 2 million shillings from Kindiki, and then after that they take the same money and they go to the next station, they do the same thing. Whom are you trying to deceive? So people are ready for that money. As Rigiji likes to say, kulia hapo, don't even take it home. All right?
Yeah, last question.
Empowerment. So they call it empowerment. Kenyans are beyond that. So I think that Gen Zs and others are able to see that, the millennials, Zenzote are able to tell these people, stop the jokes. These are serious jokes.
Last question from me.
And I think that before we leave the issue of goons, I think we want to ask William Ruto, you cannot take our police over 12,000 kilometers away to deal with goons, gangs of Haiti. Then you are back home, you actually sponsor goons against your own citizens. And you let your police walk with these goons on the streets of the capital of our country. Now who is fooling who? I think we want to tell him that, you know, you are riding on the back of a tiger. Once you create these goons, no one is capable of controlling them. That's why Haiti is where it is today. Failed leadership that allowed goons on the streets to take the law into their own hands. It is like planting the wind, you will reap the whirlwind. If you plant the wind of goonism, Bwana Ruto, Bwana Sakaja, you are going to reap the whirlwind of anarchy. That is where Haiti is today. We are not ready to let our country go down that road. Thank you very much.
Last question from me, Your Excellency, is what we saw last year, what took the people to the streets, what Kavuli here went through, abductions, is still happening even as late as last evening. Gentlemen abducted in Mombasa, a gentleman picked from Kino, others here in Nairobi and Kitengela. Yet this is the very thing that is making Kenyans angry. They will try to style it as arrest. So far we do not know where those gentlemen are, so we cannot call it an arrest. They were not informed why they were being picked. what would you say of this government or the police or doing the same things the same way? People complain of abductions. It's happening even today.
You see, it's a very wicked approach, trying to circumvent what the Constitution has laid bare, as I tried to explain earlier. Because they realize the only avenue available to them is a very primitive approach by abducting your citizens without a warrant of arrest, without anything legal. And we continue to call them out. They will be caught up with by the long arm of the law. You cannot escape it. They will be accountable. So, because for me, 25th of June will now become the Youth Transparency Day, the Youth Governance Day, and this is it. So if they continue these abductions, because one young man, for example, just sends a post, all right, then they're afraid. They're afraid. They're so afraid that they have to escape from the city. It's so amazing, so amazing. So we continue to call out on abductions, and as I said, the People's Restorative Justice Commission will hear all these cases of continuing abductions, and we'll continue to say no to it. And where occasion demands, we'll go to court. We even talked about state capture, because Kenyans will still want to know about ile mbolea nduni, mbolea gush, all right? They want to know. Those are issues of trying to mess up with the economy, the Gupta type of style in South Africa, yeah, and the Andani dues. We want to know, by the way, who was paid what for that JKIA matter. And of course it was withdrawn. We know they're angry about the fact we forced them to withdraw because of our sense of nationality and making this country proud. We will not allow this. So maybe people thought opposition is weak. Now bado hawajaona anything. We'll deal with that.
Thank you very much. Asante sana.
So I think we shall proceed, and Wednesday is used to be a symbol of national unity until a disaster happens.
Thank you. Bro.
Right in the middle of the city. We shall overcome our fear. Watu watokezee, wale wajafika mjini wafike mjini.
One term. Ruto ni one term siku zote. Ruto ni one term. Hadi ni half term, sio one term, half term. Siku zote.
Tunataka hizo milioni 2 saa hii.
One term. Ruto resign hata one term Kizombo. Lakini wakileta za udutu na bado ni asubuhi. Leo hawana homa.
One time, Ruto must go.